Hey guys, Robert here with RC Archery. So it's day 7. I've done some work in between, but we'll call this day 7 and recap here, and I'll just give a full deal over everything that I've done. Basically, just been shooting the Hyper Edge here and trying to just fine tune everything. Trying some different group tuning, everything, tuning it completely. But what I found was that I was having some up and down bobs on target, and it just wasn't quite holding as steady as what I'm used to and what I normally like. So playing around, new riser from what I'm used to with podiums. So obviously a little bit different pulling location here versus how much risers from here up and how much risers from here down. So what I did was actually played with the tiller. So I had the loop, I had everything set high like I normally do, with the bottom of the arrow running through the middle of the burger buttonhole, so everything from there up. That's how I'd set up my podiums the last couple times. So what I did was I started backing off the top limb here, and the reason I did that is because I wanted the loop to move down. So I was going in quarter turns, take a quarter turn off the top limb, put a quarter turn into the bottom limb. That kept the cam timing and everything similar. It did move some because it's not exactly slaved together, obviously. It's a hybrid cam. So did that, found a setting that I liked from where it was holding best on target, basically just doing some float drills and just seeing what my float and hold and everything looked. So I did that, came back inside, knocked an arrow on there, got my arrow levels back out, measured everything to see what the bubble and everything was reading it, and just took my measurements and figured out how I wanted to do it with where my loop was, and then cut everything off. So I wanted the tiller to be set back square. I think I may play around with it some to see if it's going to help with the high tear, just seeing if maybe the limbs are loaded a little bit differently, top and bottom sets. Maybe one's working too hard versus the other one. So I may play around with that a little bit more just to see if it helps with the high tear, but I've gotten it fine-tuned enough to where the high tear portion of it with a bare shaft is actually hitting on target exactly the way that I like for them to hit on my podiums when I started group tuning and found the best setup. So I may not worry about it. When I shoot it through paper with a bare shaft, it's a high tear. When I shoot a fletched arrow through paper, I'm basically a bullet hole, maybe just a smidge high. So I'm not worried about that at all. For me, that works. It works really well, and basically just playing with the blade. So I've got a soft blade on here. It's an 8 thou blade, and my arrows are somewhat heavy. I don't remember the exact weight. I'll have to weigh them again, and I'm messing with 2 different lengths to see which ones work the best, but mid 300s is what they weigh at. So technically I'm over the mark where I should be on a 10 blade, but I'm running an 8 because it's a little bit more forgiving for up and down arrow height, because it'll flex that blade a little bit more. So 10's getting a kick, so I'm not using that at all. It's going to be worse for the high tear. So I've got it set up like that. May play with blade angle a little bit. I think a softer reaction out of it's going to allow it to drive through the blade more, and it's not going to have as bad, up and down. But long and short, the high tear is a knot travel problem. So they're not traveling too far up as the arrow's coming out, which, however that may be. I don't have a good enough machine built, set up to where I can actually measure that. I'd like to do that in the future possibly, but I don't have that yet. So that's where I'm at right now. Did some torque tuning. I had a couple people ask me on that. I do 2 stages of torque tuning. That's going to be on my new DVD. I started to film it today. We almost had rain. We didn't. But it was so cloudy, it was really dark, and I don't think it would have been good coverage on a video. So hopefully I'll get that out tomorrow. I'll film it. If I can film it tomorrow, I'll have it out next week. Kind of getting into some extra activities going on with what I'm doing, so I'm kind of running out of some extra time here coming up in the near future, more than likely. And because of that, I'm going to go ahead and get that DVD knocked out, or new video. I mean, it'll be on my Vimeo as well. So you'll have it on there. It'll be another instructional series, basically just an advanced tuning method. So it's going to have torque tuning. It's going to have the leverage tuning like what I did tonight. I'm going to go over that in full detail so you can understand what I'm doing, where I'm coming at with that, why I'm doing it, what I look for. So I'm going to be able to do a first person view with the camera, like a lot of my float videos. I'm going to do voiceovers on that, so that's actually going to be better because I'm normally talking when I'm doing that, so I float and move based off my talking and my breathing. So this time I can actually just hold on target and show you what that looks like, and then I'll do voiceovers so I can talk through it as it's going on, but I won't be moving as bad, and you'll actually get to see a truer version of what it is. And I'll play with, you know, different settings and show you what they look like as far as holds. So if you're running into that, you can know more what to do. I'm going to put an extra part in there on stabilizers. Now I have a stabilizer set up already on that instructional video, but I am going to put something with that goes along with the hold tuning, so you'll have that information on there too. But I mean, all that's on there: torque tuning, hold tuning, my two-stage torque tuning, so I do 2 different things on there. And some other stuff too. I've got 5 different sections of it written down that I'm going to do. So keep an eye out for that. Hopefully I'll have that updated pretty soon, and I will keep y'all updated on the Hoyt. High tear issue, a little bit longer on the bus cable. It was an 1/8 longer, so I don't know if that helps or not. But that was one of them, shaving the draw stop peg on the bottom. That helped a little bit more side to side, and a little bit up and down, but it helped a little. The blade is what I found to be the best remedy for what I'm doing. Just having that softer blade on here, that seems to be what's helping the most. So pick it up from day 8. Hopefully coming up, if I don't make any more changes with it, I'll probably just do a long-term summary video, a good one, good quality with my normal camera, and go over everything completely and in its entirety on everything that I did on it, and have that out. Probably more so do that than day 8, because really at this point it's just retuning it, and it should tune up fine. If I notice any differences by how it tunes, having you know, the arrow running higher in the burger hole or lower, then that's something that I'll update and put, but that may also be in the summary video. So keep an eye out for it all, and I appreciate you watching these videos. If it wasn't for y'all watching, I wouldn't be doing them. So thank you for that. Thank you for that support. I'll see you soon.